Donald Trump is learning the hard way how the legal system actually works in this country. He took to Truth Social today, writing, "Judge Goron actually wants me to put up hundreds of millions of dollars for the right to appeal his ridiculous decision. In other words, he is trying to take my appellate rights away from me when I have already won at the appellate division, but he refuses to accept their already made decision. Nobody has ever heard of anything like this before. I would be forced to mortgage or sell great assets, perhaps at fire sale prices, and if and when I win the appeal, they would be gone." Does that make sense? Witch hunt, election interference. Now, you'll be shocked to learn that effectively every single word of this post is a lie. Judge Goron is not trying to take Trump's appellate rights away by virtue of making him pay what he owes. The way the system works, for those of us living in reality, is that under New York state law, if you lose a case, which Trump did, then you have to either pay the full amount that you owe, or a surety company has to post bond in the amount that you owe, which shows the court that you have the funds to meet the judgment. And then the court will hold those funds, or that bond, pending the outcome of the appeal. But that is a condition of being able to appeal, just as it's always been a condition of being able to appeal, and just as it's always been a condition for being able to appeal for everyone. So when Trump claims election interference, how do I put this diplomatically? He is a fucking idiot. Of course, there always exists the possibility that he's actually fully aware that these have always been the rules, and that in fact he's not the idiot, but that he believes his supporters are the idiots. So if you're a Trump supporter, ask yourself this: does this guy truly not know that everyone has to post bond or pay the full amount to be able to appeal? Or is he saying that because his goal is to dupe his fans who he believes to be stupid? Take all the time you need with that one. Notice too how Trump says that he's already won at the appellate division. Again, he is lying. He did win some modest forms of relief on appeal with regard to his business certificate and Ivanka being dismissed as a co-defendant from the case, but let's be perfectly clear, Donald Trump did not have his decision to pay $455 million overturned on appeal. What he's trying to do is obfuscate the facts and claiming that he, quote, already won at the appellate division, when in reality, he notched minor technical forms of relief that will have no material impact on his massive verdict. But again, he thinks his supporters are stupid, and so that's how he treats them. And finally, with regard to Trump's complaints about having to sell his, quote, great assets, perhaps at fire sale prices, let's be clear. It is no one's fault other than Donald Trump himself that he needs to come up with money to meet a fraud verdict other than Donald Trump. No one forced him to defraud the banks or the people of New York. He made that decision on his own. So he can whine and cry and stomp his feet about how he's going to have to lose money on his assets to satisfy the fraud verdict. But maybe the lesson here, and I hope you're sitting down for this, is to not commit fraud. Just, for starters. Also, and this may be beside the point, but it's still worth stating, I was led to believe by Donald Trump himself that he was a multi-billionaire. If he's really as rich as he claims to be, then shouldn't he easily be able to come up with $455 million? I mean, we're not even talking about $1 billion, we're only talking about millions. And yet, he can't put up the money? He can't find a single creditor who, after doing their due diligence, believes that he's got enough value in his assets to satisfy the bond amount? What does that tell you? Because what it tells me is that maybe Trump's brand of being some brilliant business genius was, in actuality, all smoke and mirrors. And that's what Donald Trump doesn't want to admit, because his whole brand is predicated on this bogus notion that he's rich and savvy, when in fact he is neither of those things. He is a bumbling moron who slapped his name on a bunch of failed licensing deals that have almost unilaterally gone down in flames. Trump Airlines, Trump Steaks, Trump Vodka, Trump Mortgage, Trump The Game, Trump Wine, Trump Magazine, all failed. Trump University, fraudulent. Trump's casinos, bankrupt. If Trump had put money in a brokerage account that tracked the S&P 500, he would actually be rich. But instead, he spent his entire life failing at one venture after the next, hawking shit products to the suckers who he can exploit, and parading himself around as some business genius. He's not. And it took years, but the glossy veneer is finally wearing off and exposing the fraud that lies underneath. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.